let's start with the summit of the mountain today. We'll start with our head and our neck. Making sure our chin is level with the floor so the back of the neck is nice and long. And take a look to the right. And exhale, pass through center, look left. Inhale, look right. Keeping the shoulders down, away from the ears. Exhale, look left. And a few more times in your own time and synchronizing it comfortably with your breathing. And gradually coming to center. Then tipping the chin to the chest. Oh boy, I feel that today. Whew. It's good though. Lifting chin up, tipping chin up, looking to the sky. Floating the head down, chin to chest. Feeling that lovely stretch in the back of the neck. Bringing that chin up, tipping it up, head back, looking to the sky. And if you'd like on the look down, your next look down, you can take your hands and gently place them on the back of your head for just a little bit more of a stretch. Nothing too intense, right? We don't want to push our neck down, but just gentle pressure. And then tip it back up. And one more time. Chin to chest, hands to head if you like. And back up. And then going to neutral. Now, taking the chin and head and tipping it towards the right underarm, like you want to, check to make sure you're still fresh. I've been doing that lately occasionally. That's the nice thing about working from home is nobody notices really when I do that. And as you're doing that, bringing the right hand to the back of the head just to encourage that stretch a little bit more. Being deliberate about making sure that you're tilting your nose towards your underarm and breathing in through the stretch in the left side of the neck. This one we hold a little bit longer because the benefits occur when they're held for, this pose is held for a little bit longer than normal. And then tipping it gently back to center. And tipping chin and nose to the left underarm side. Bringing that left hand up. And encouraging gently the stretch towards the underarm. You can consciously elongate and bring the right arm down towards the mat for a bit more of a stretch. And make sure you breathe and help your body and help yourself relax through the stretch, which is really, really good to do fairly regularly if you have neck tension or neck and upper back pain. Adjusting more towards the underarm if you need to, if you've drifted more towards the center. And back to center. Let's do a few shoulder shrugs just to get some movement in the shoulders. So bringing the shoulders up, squeeze, 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 and down. Perhaps with a nice sigh. Shoulders up, squeeze, and down. Shoulders up. I'm sure I don't look very cute when I'm doing this, but it feels really good. And shoulders down. And take a moment to relax. Let's take the right arm, bring elbow in the middle of the chest and sort of in front where the solar plexus is, taking the left arm and bringing it underneath the right arm and bringing left fingertips to right palm in a eagle arms pose. And this pose is kind of a fun one to play around with a little bit. If you want to practice or experiment with bringing your elbows forward, which will bring your shoulders forward. You can try bringing your elbows apart. That creates a little extra space in your shoulder blade area. Just playing around with it a little bit and see how it feels good to you today. Just creating space in the back and feeling the strength in your arms while you do this. And breathing as you go. Then bringing the hands down, maybe shrug out the shoulders just a little bit. Taking the left arm, bringing the left elbow in front of solar plexus, right arm underneath, supporting left arm. Eagle arms on the other side. And this time I'm elevating my elbows just a little bit. It creates a nice stretch. Creates a nice stretch in my shoulder blade area. So have fun with this, play around with it. Enjoying that lovely stretch. And then bringing the arms down. Let's plant the right hand near the right hip, bringing the left arm up and over. Yep. Elongating through the torso, elongating the arm. Reach, reach, reach from sitting bone out through fingertips, over to the right. Breathing into that left side body stretch. And then gently floating it down. Planting that left hand near left hip, bringing the right arm up and over, reaching through right sitting bone all the way up from torso through underarm, through arm and out fingertips. And trying to stay long in the torso. We don't want to collapse over too much. I caught myself doing that myself. So staying nice and long, rolling the right shoulder back and floating it down. Now we're going to do a fun twist now. At least I hope you find it fun. This was fun for me earlier today because I had a significant amount of back pain. And I did this pose and I felt a lovely pop in my back, and my back's been better ever since. So let's give it a shot. We'll take the right leg and bend it out in front so the right knee is facing forward and the right foot is towards your left hip, left sitting area. And then left foot, step it over the right knee. And sit up nice and long. Let's take the right hand behind us. Hold on a second. No, sorry. We'll put the left hand behind us. My apologies. I knew that didn't feel right. Take the right arm and use your left knee as leverage. Elongate the spine and then gently twist to the left. So oftentimes at this point we don't use our arm as leverage, but today I thought we'd try something a little different. On the inhale, elongate, and exhale, twist and look left. One more time, inhale, and twist and look left. And coming back to center, let's switch sides. So bring the left knee, left leg around, left knee points forward, left foot close to the right butt cheek. Right leg over and around with the foot planted in front of the left knee. We'll put the right arm behind us, left arm using the right leg as leverage. Inhale to elongate. Exhale and twist right. And we of course don't want to, like, you know, crank our body too much using the leverage from our arm and our knee, but just as you're comfortable. Elongate on the inhale and exhale and twist. One more time, elongate on the inhale. Exhale and twist. And back to center. And if you felt a little pop, hopefully that was fun for you too. And let's go to a tabletop position. And making sure that our knees are under our hips and our wrists are under our shoulders. And then let's drop the belly down for a nice cow pose. Focusing on being broad across the collarbones and opening up the heart. And then rounding the spine, pushing into the hands and tucking the tailbone, scooping it in for a cat. Channeling our inner Halloween black cat as we do this. Dropping the belly down to cow. And rounding the spine up towards the sky cat. And dropping the belly one more time. And pushing into the hands, engaging the core and rounding the spine to cat. Then coming to a neutral position. Let's plant the right hand firmly into the mat under the right shoulder. Taking the left arm up, fingertips towards the sky. Then bringing that left arm across the chest, along the mat, and then resting the shoulder down on the mat, left palm facing upward, right arm extends forward for thread the needle. Try to be aware, and I know it's not always easy, but try to be aware of your hips. Are your hips and knees aligned? If not, you want to do a little adjustment, and that's okay. And then settle back down and relax into the stretch in the shoulder. And then pushing into the right hand, bringing the left arm up, realigning into tabletop. This time firming the left hand into the mat, bringing the right hand up, fingertips towards the sky, sweeping it down and across your chest. Right hand, palm facing up, lowering down onto the right shoulder. And extending that left arm forward. Checking the position of your hips. And settling and relaxing into thread the needle. Head facing towards the left. Relaxing and settling everything down. Feeling a softening in the belly and just a softening in your chest area, in your shoulders, relaxing into the ground. Pushing into the left hand, coming back up to tabletop. Then shifting onto the left knee and bringing the right foot out long to the side with the foot parallel to the side of your mat. Taking the time to elongate your chest. Well, I guess you can elongate the chest sideways, elongate the spine, open the chest. Bring the left hand up and over, and the right hand rests onto the right leg, not on the knee. We don't want to put pressure on our knee. Feeling a lovely stretch probably in your left front pelvis hip area. A stretch along your side body too, and your arms. And then bringing it down. Let's switch sides. So resting in a kneeling position with the weight on the right side, bringing your left leg out to the side, left foot parallel to the left side of the mat. Nice and long in your body, bringing your hands up to the sky and then tipping to the left. Being conscious of rolling that right shoulder backwards so we're not falling forward. We're staying nice and open across the chest. And if you can see if you can inch your hands just a little further down the left leg. If you can't, it's not a problem, but if you can, it's fun to give that a try. Get a little more of a stretch in the right side body and right hip. And then back to center. Let's have a little fun here. Let's do something different. Let's go into a kneeling position and leaning forward a bit on our hands so our fingertips are on the mat. We'll tuck our toes and then lean back onto our heels for a seated plantar stretch. If this is too much for you, absolutely lean forward to a level that's comfortable, challenging, but comfortable for you. You can play around with what feels good today. Being aware of your chest, it's nice and open, lowering those shoulders down, bringing shoulder blades gently together. And breathing. Now coming back to a kneeling position and to tabletop. Being mindful of that our knees are under our hips and hands are under shoulders. Let's then walk the hands forward, keeping our hips over our knees. Stretching out the arms, stretching out the underarms, stretching out the back. If you can, bringing your forehead down to the mat and into puppy dog pose. And breathing into this pose, you probably feel lovely stretch and sensation in your back, which is great. Nice stretch in the underarm area. Strengthen the arms as you're pushing your hands into the mat. And then coming back up. And let's treat ourselves gently today. Let's bring our knees apart, mat width apart, bringing our sitting bones down to our heels and bringing our arms long in front of us in a child's pose. If you feel like giving yourself a hug, that's cool too. You can always bring your arms along your body and kind of hug yourself that way. Or arms in front as you feel good today. And breathe. Now, rising up from child's pose, but moving onto our belly, sliding forward onto our belly, and placing elbows under shoulders, Bringing the forearms directly in front of you towards the top of the mat and spreading the fingers out wide. Then elongating from the lower back through the middle back, all the way up to the top, bringing the collarbones nice and wide. And as for your gaze, you want to gaze just at the top of your mat. You don't want to be looking up to the sky. We don't want to hyperextend the neck. Taking a moment to feel the strength of your legs pressed against the mat, feeling your pelvis against the mat, and enjoying Sphinx pose. Kind of like mountains, Sphinx is sort of unmoving throughout turmoil as well. Although I guess one of them lost their nose in a conflict, but other than that, they did fairly well. Nice and broad across the chest. And then lowering down. Forehead to the mat. For fun, since we're here, let's bring our right knee up towards, bending the knee towards the front of the mat, the top of the mat. Relaxing your pelvis down into the mat as best you can for a half frog, and then your calf should be parallel to the side of the mat. You should feel a gentle stretch in your pelvis and groin here. If you want to have more of a stretch, bring that knee up more towards the top of the mat. If you want a little less of a stretch, you can bring the knee down more towards the bottom of the mat. But try and keep that calf aligned with the side of the mat. And relax. Let's bring that right leg down long beside the left leg. And now we'll do the same on the other side. So bringing that left knee up towards the top, in the direction of the top of the mat. The left shin parallel to the side of the mat. And relax down. And you can either look to the left. If you want to have your forehead down, you can, as is comfortable for you. I like to position my arms towards the top of near my head, almost like a pillow, but not resting my head on it. Sort of making a little diamond with my arms. I'll try to relax into this pose and rest. Now pressing up and pressing into a tabletop position. Let's take the right leg forward into a half Hanuman. So being mindful of keeping our hips at the same level distance. So not scooching the hips at a diagonal one forward in front of the other, they're level. The right leg nice and long in front of you. Right foot flexed to the degree that's comfortable for you. And I'm personally on top of my tented fingertips in this pose. You may choose to be on your fists. Maybe that's more comfortable for you. And elongating the spine on the inhale, pulling out of your pelvis, nice and long spine. And you can either stay here or on the exhale, coming down over the leg. And feeling that stretch in the back of the right leg. Breathing through the stretch. And elongating the spine, leading with your heart, coming back up. Taking that right leg out over to the left. So your right heel should be on the left side of your mat. Checking the position of your hips, trying to square them to the front of the mat as you can. Elongating the spine again on the inhale. And exhale and fold if you are so inclined to do so. Being conscious of pointing the toes towards the center of the mat. So you'll feel a nice, hopefully nice, IT band stretch. They can be intense, so, take it easy, back off if you need to. Then inhaling, coming back up. Let's bring that foot to center again. And moving forward into a crescent lunge. So shifting the body forward, knee over ankle, right knee over ankle, and bringing the arms up. And let's do an angel wing to open up that chest, elbows apart, shoulder blades together. Inhale and up. Float the hands down to frame the front right foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee into a low lunge. Now let's hop the left foot forward just a little bit so that the foot is on the ground and is sort of at a 45-degree angle so that the left toes point in the direction roughly of the upper left corner of the mat. Then come up, squaring our hips to the front of the mat, right knee over right heel. You should see your right big toes. If not, slide your knee over to the right and bring the hands up to a high prayer. And feel free to adjust your feet if you need to. I mean, that first hop isn't necessarily perfect, so adjust around as you need to and feel stable and comfortable. Now, bringing the left foot so it's parallel to the back of the mat, keeping your right knee still bent, opening up in the pelvis area, opening up across the chest, bringing your arms to a nice strong T into Warrior Two. Feeling nice and strong, like a warrior on a mountain today. I love the strength of Warrior Two. Feeling strong and rooted in your feet, perhaps spreading out your toes for more stability. Let's drop the left arm down, sweep the right arm overhead, creating a little bit of a bend towards the left. Peaceful warrior. Trying to relax and feel peaceful in peaceful warrior. Tipping back up to Warrior Two. Then bringing the right foot parallel to the left foot. Arms up overhead to high prayer for star pose. Elongating the arms, really reaching to the sky, pulling up out of the pelvis, and feeling nice and long through the sides of your body, but also trying to not have your shoulders up to your ears, which I know feels a bit counterintuitive, but it's a matter of being aware of it and adjusting. And breathing. Now bringing the hands down to heart center, stepping the feet together, hip width apart. I'm going to do a little adjustment. There we go, that's better. Feeling nice and stable in the feet. Let's bring our arms at a 45-degree angle in front of us, energetically out from our shoulders, sitting down into chair pose. Lowering down as is comfortable yet challenging for you. And you can either stay here or bringing the hands to heart center, tilting your left elbow to the outside of your right outer thigh into a twisted chair. And then gazing over your right shoulder. And breathing. Making sure the knees remain hip distance apart, they're not collapsing inward. Coming back to center, and then twisting to the left, So right elbow on the outer left knee, looking over the left shoulder, gently twisting using your knee as leverage. Back to center and back to standing. Whew. Do you feel that too? You can shake out the legs a little bit. Then let's step it out further than hip width. Bringing hands up again to high prayer for star. Enjoying a breath here. Then pivoting the right toes forward towards the front of the mat. Right heel should be roughly in line with left foot, which is parallel to the back of the mat. Back into warrior two, bending the front knee, looking over the right hand. Enjoying a breath here. And then spiraling down to frame the front right foot. Dropping the back knee and coming back into tabletop. Now for the other side. We started in half Hanuman, so let's bring the left leg long in front of us with the foot flexed and the hips parallel and squared to the front of the mat. Taking a moment to feel how that leg feels and breathe into any tension you might feel. Elongating out of your spine, out from your pelvis, nice and long on the inhale. And you can either stay here or exhale and come over the leg. Either way, exhale for sure. I wouldn't want people holding their breath. She didn't say to exhale if I was staying up. And enjoying how that feels. That lovely stretch in the back of your left leg. Inhaling, elongating, coming back up. Then bringing that left foot over to the right edge of the mat. Bringing the toes in towards the center of the mat. Checking the position of your hips, trying to square them off to the front of the mat. Elongating on the inhale. And then coming down over the left leg on the exhale. And breathing. Always breathing. Leading with the heart, coming back up, bringing that foot back to center. And then coming forward, shifting the weight forward so that you're coming into a crescent lunge with the knee over left ankle, toes spread of the left foot, bringing those arms up and bringing the shoulder blades together, elbows down into angel wings. This time, instead of bringing them back up, let's have a little fun and bring them together. So bring elbows and palms together in the front, and then spread them open. And together in the front, and open. And one more time. Open. Very good. Let's float the hands down to frame the front foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee into a low lunge. Then hopping the right foot forward so it's flat on the ground. Toes pointing in the direction of the upper right corner. Taking a moment to settle our stance, so making sure our feet feel stable. Spreading the toes, particularly of the left foot. Squaring the hips, left knee over left heel, ankle. Bringing the arms up to high prayer, warrior one. And breathing here into the strength of this pose. I'm going to adjust a little bit. There we go. Now, taking the back right foot, bringing it parallel to the back of the mat, orienting the left heel to right arch, keeping that left knee bent, bringing the arms nice and wide and broad to a T and looking over the left fingertips. Really being conscious of opening up that chest, making sure hands are not too much down or too much up. It's like they're coming directly out of your shoulder sockets. Nice and strong. Then tipping back to the right, dropping the right hand, slight back bend. Peaceful warrior, relaxing into peaceful warrior. And then back to warrior two. Pivoting the feet to one side, so left foot is parallel to right foot, and bringing it into a star pose. Nice and long in the body, though keeping our shoulders down, away from our ears. Nice and strong in the legs, nice and long in the torso. I'm going to float the hands down and step together. I'm going to turn around so you can see me, so you're not subjected to my back the entire time. Again, coming into Tadasana, nice and strong and grounded in the legs, feet hip distance apart, feeling nice and strong. Shifting the weight to the left. And if you feel like you need to come closer to a wall for stability, please feel free to do that. But really taking the time to be rooted and grounded in the left foot. Having toes spread, that helps with stability. I find having hands in prayer position often can help, or having them just slightly out to the sides to aid with balance. Let's bring that right knee up. So it's at a 90-degree angle. Keeping focus on a point, probably on the floor or maybe on the wall. It's not going to move. If you'd like to take the leg out to the right, you can. And then bring it back to center. And lower the foot with control. Ideally. Shifting the weight to the right, making sure that the right foot, you feel all four corners of the right foot plus the toes nice and spread. And then bringing that left knee up at a 90-degree angle. Feeling the calm and stability and groundedness of the pose. Bringing the leg to the left. And bring it back to the center. And back to the mat. Now I'm going to turn around again so I walk you through this appropriately and don't confuse you or me. Back to star. Arms overhead to high prayer. Let's pivot the left foot, left toes towards the front of the mat. Heel in line with the back, middle of the right foot. Arms nice and long to a T, left knee over ankle. Warrior two. And then bringing the hands to frame the left front foot and coming back down to tabletop. And then crossing the legs and taking a seat. Let's sit, making sure we feel our sitting bones, not necessarily pulling flesh away or anything, but just feeling nice and rooted here. Feet flat on the mat in front of you. Let's lean back. You can hold the backs of your legs in this pose if you like. We're heading towards boat pose, so you know where I'm going. Bringing the feet, the shins up parallel to the floor. Toes pointed. If you like, you can release your arms. And then if you want even more, you can straighten the legs. And feel that shake in the core, if you're anything like me. Whew. And then with control, bring the feet down. Let's bring our hands behind us, wrists under shoulders, feet flat on the ground, and lifting up the hips to reverse tabletop. Breathing into the pose, feeling nice and strong and stable and rooted in our hands and feet. Making sure we're aware of keeping our pelvis lifted, our hips lifted, and then gently with control bringing it down. Coming to a seat and bringing our feet together towards the center of our body. In close to our body, as close as we comfortably can. And here we have a couple of options. We can flutter our legs up and down. Sometimes that feels good, kind of like a butterfly. You can opt to not flutter and just focus on bringing knees down to the ground. Spine nice and long, hands wrapped around the toes. That helps a lot. And you can stay here or you can lengthen up out of the pelvis, leaning forward with the heart, so nice long spine. And then when you hit sort of your max in that pose, you can lower down and relax down. Let gravity do the work. And if it's too much, if you're feeling too much in the groin area, you can always move your feet forward a little bit. Or, if it's challenging but not too challenging, you can see how breathing through it feels. And leading with the heart and coming back up. Let's shift the feet forward a little bit, or maybe more than a little bit, so we make a diamond shape with our legs. Taking the time to elongate the spine, bring the shoulder blades slightly together, shoulders down away from the ears. And then elongate on the inhale. And hinging from the hips, leaning forward, coming forward over in front and relaxing down. And you may be, on your hands. They may be further down the mat or less far down the mat, or you possibly may be all the way down. Whatever is comfortable for you is totally cool. And relax into seated star. I just thought, we had a couple of stars in with the mountains today. So there's a bit of a theme there. It wasn't actually intentional. It just kind of hit me that the mountains are going with the stars today. And then on the inhale, come up leading with the heart. Back up to a seated pose. And let's come back onto our mat in a nice reclined position. With the knees bent, feet on the floor. And just take a beat to enjoy simply the feeling of, wow, how does it feel to just relax? Feel your back on the mat. Relaxing the back muscles, taking a rest. Now bringing the knees into your chest, taking the knees with your hands and rotating the knees together in one direction, kind of like you're stirring a pot. Give your lower back a nice little massage. And breathe as you're doing it in a way that feels good for you. And slowly coming to a stop and changing direction. And then coming slowly to a stop. Let's plant the feet on the ground. Take the right leg straight up to the sky and then crossing it over just to rest, so ankle rests on your lower left thigh just above your knee. Bringing that left leg in, you can either grab behind your hamstring and pull it in. If this is good here and you want a little extra stretch, you can lift that left heel to the sky. Or if you want to keep the leg bent like I am, and you want a little extra stretch, you can reach over and grab in front of your shin instead of behind your leg. And relax and breathe. Really try to enjoy the feeling of just melting into the mat, taking a rest. Relaxing your face. Then letting that go, bringing the feet to the mat again. Left leg up to the sky, crossing it over the right leg. Bringing that right leg in, either grabbing behind your hamstring, keeping it there and elevating your right foot, or reaching in and grabbing in front of your shin. And breathing through the stretch that you probably feel in your back left thigh. Relaxing into that stretch. Then unwinding, bringing the feet to the mat, hugging them in one more time, and draping knees to the left. You can either bring arms to a T or goalpost, as is comfortable for you, and adjust your knees a little bit up or down if you like, as it makes it comfortable for your torso. Keeping your shoulders on the mat. Bringing the knees back together to center and over to the right. Oof. Really relaxing the body into the mat in this pose. Trying not to hold any tension. Coming back to center. And coming to Shavasana. Elongating the spine, arms alongside your body, palms facing up. Relaxing through your torso, shoulders away from the ears. Feet slightly apart. Really releasing your body into the mat. You don't need to hold yourself up or have any tension here. And while we're laying down, and that doesn't exactly embody the mountainous imagery we were using initially, the commonality is fostering in ourselves the ability to be calm and grounded whenever we're faced with challenging times. And no matter what we face, although some things may be easier than others, we're often served by taking a moment to be calm and ground ourselves and focus on breathing, focusing on the moment, focusing on steadying our body and our nervous system. Mindful sitting, mindful breathing, mindful laying down can often be very, very helpful.